Nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. There's nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. Oh, all you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love, love, love is all you need. There's nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. Oh, all you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love, love, love is all you need. All you need is love.
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 All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need.
Hey everybody, welcome to Unity Naples. I am Reverend Mark, and I'm so honored to be with you today with a fantastic team, our wonderful musicians, Amy and Jesse, our host, Mark Russell. We all come together in our sanctuary today with the rain pouring outside to be of service to you, to create a collective energy of awakening, of peace, of love. And what I know is if you stay with us through the journey of this hour, you will receive what your spirit has in store for you. So welcome.
Good morning and welcome to Unity's Sunday service. I'm your platform assistant, Mark Russell, and I must say that as dark and gloomy as it outside, my heart is full of light as we live stream from Unity. I'd like to take the moment to open up the service by welcoming our lovely Amy and Jesse.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Mark.
all good, holy, holy,
holy. All in my mind, in my heart and my soul. Let me know all is good. Holy, holy. All love, holy, holy. All love, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart and my soul. Let me know all is love. Holy, holy. All peace, holy, holy. All peace, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart and my soul. Let me know all is peace. Holy, holy. All one, holy, holy. All one, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart and my soul. Let me know all is one. Holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart and my soul. Let me know all is good. Holy, holy.
Wow. Thank you, Jesse and Amy. It is just amazing to listen to you live again.
Oh, thank you.
Unity Naples has continued to monitor the situation regarding the COVID-19 virus, and we are delighted to share that we will be reopening our sanctuary to our beloved community on September 27th, with 2 services available for you to attend. First service will be at 9:30 a.m., where we will have our more traditional service, and at 11 a.m., there'll be a progressive Sunday celebration. CDC guidelines will be in place and reservations will be required, as we will limit to 50 people per service for the first few services. We will begin taking reservations for for each Sunday on Monday prior to the service. So a reservation link will be made available on our website, in our newsletter on September 21st for both services to be held on September 27th. You can visit our website at unitynaples.org for more information. If you are so inspired, we do have a need for our sacred service. You can help us by being a part of our reopening and continuing to be a part of our sacred service ministry by joining us. And for that, you can sign up online on our website. And we truly appreciate everyone who has volunteered so far, and we look forward to those who will volunteer in the future. In service to keeping us connected during this time, we have created an abundance of virtual opportunities for us to be together in the upcoming weeks. This live stuff is really unusual for me. All of this will be listed with instructions on how to connect on the Unity website, unitynaples.org, and on our Facebook page. So here's what's happening at Unity of Naples this week. First, we have prayer and meditation live on the Unity Naples Facebook page, Monday through Friday at noon. We have book study with Reverend Eileen at 11 a.m. on Zoom, and the current book is Discover the Power Within. Wednesdays is The Spiritual Way with Reverend Mark. As a reminder, Unity Naples is a non-dominational spiritual community anchored in loving acceptance. If you were with us for the first time, or actually as a reminder to all of us, please know that whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are always welcome here. Now I ask that we take a deep breath, we sit back, breathe deep, as Reverend Mark leads us in meditation.
If it's comfortable for you, take a deep breath and closing your eyes, taking nice, slow, expansive breaths. And as you exhale, feel yourself let go. Allow the body to relax. Imagine the mind and the heart flowering open.
The breath of God is breathing me and resting. The breath of God, I know that all is well. The grace of God is gracing me and resting. The grace of God, I know that all is well.
And as we take a deeper breath together, I invite you to imagine the external world dissolving and disappearing as you turn your full attention to the inner reality, the maker of life itself in you. I call this the life of God. Call it whatever name you name it. It is greater than words. Words are simply pointers to the life and the breath that is living and breathing us. As you allow yourself to relax into the breath and imagine yourself floating down a river on a beautiful day, imagine yourself in a nice big inner tube being held by the arms of Spirit, by the love of God that is carrying you. And wherever you are and whatever is right now, you can affirm all is well. For when all is well with my soul, all is well with what is. And this is a place that we seek together in this moment. We call forth from within us. For this is the place where the peace of God is felt, where the healing power of God is activated, and the remembering of our oneness allows us to rise up into the upper room, that consciousness of heaven, where all truly is well. You can say yes to this now. You can rise above all circumstance just in this moment, if that be all that is available to you. This moment, rise up and say yes to God. Say yes to the breath of God.
I know that all is well. I know that all is well. I know that all is well.
Take a nice deep breath. Opening your heart and mind even more, bringing your attention back into the room you're in whenever you're ready, as we welcome another wonderful piece of music from Amy and Jesse.
Where I am, God is. Where I stand, God is standing strong. Where I breathe, God is breathing life in and out and through me. as me, and where I sing, God is. Where I dance, joy lifts my feet. Where I live, beauty's flowing free, in and out and through me. As me, and where I doubt, God is the faith in me. Where I cry, God is the comfort there. Where I seek, God is the answer. Here and now, forever and ever and ever. Where I speak, truth is. Where I work, love is my career. Where I play, God is playing boldly, in and out and through me. As me, oh, 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 where I am, where I stand, where I play, where I work and breathe, move and be, where I sing, and where I dance, my dance, my dance, where I go, where I play and seek and give and live. God is, life is, truth is, God is.
Thank you, Amy and Jesse. That is one of my favorite songs by Faith Rivera, a wonderful New Thought musician, and you did it justice. Thank you. Thank you. So this month, I'm focusing on prayer, specifically a new form of prayer, which I created with my dear friend Panache Desai, called alchemical prayer. It is a process of aligning ourselves in the consciousness of heaven through the use of the Eastern wisdom and sacred connection through the chakras, establishing particular tones and beliefs that place you in the center of the vortex of oneness. And it is there, it is in the kingdom of heaven, the upper room, the many words that point to it. It is there where that which you desire, that which is good and true and holy upon your heart, is immediately made manifest. It is made manifest in spirit and in consciousness. And this process is a way to establish that clearly. And then, through the power of surrender, create that open door for it to be expressed in your life. And one of the key components, which I want to talk about today, is this thing called heaven. It deserves some attention so that we can shine the light upon that which is our broken ideas, false beliefs about this, and secure within us a knowing of what this is, how it works, and where it is. So, There's a lot of pain around this thing called heaven and hell. And truthfully, there doesn't need to be. A little bit of focus upon this can create a wonderful shift for us. A change in perception does require us to look at that which isn't working. Now, I call it the spiritual ego. The spiritual ego in us very often can just go, look at the good, only the good, only the good. And I understand that in the truth of being. But I also know about my spiritual evolution and many other spiritual paths that if we do not acknowledge what is here for it to be transformed, it doesn't actually shift. You know, the teachings in the 12-step program is the greatest example of that. Someone cannot begin the journey of moving from addiction to sobriety without the very first necessary step, which is to acknowledge that there's a problem, to acknowledge that there's something else that has a hold of them. And it is in that acknowledgement that a new opportunity begins to reveal itself. So we're going to do a little bit of that looking today. So in our childhood conditioning around heaven, you may relate to this, I'll speak for mine. It was where God lived. It was a place above the clouds, somewhere up in the sky somewhere. And it was an ultimate destination that had to be earned. That was my definition. I'm guessing you're probably like me. And the opposite of heaven, which is where, by the way, I was pretty certain I was going, was hell. That was where the devil lived. Now that was located in my training in the child mind, deep in the pit of the fires of earth, where it burned forevermore. That too had to be earned. So heaven or hell were places that in my childhood understanding were about, they happened after I died, after I laid down the body, and then which doorway I walked through really was measured upon how good I was or I wasn't. I don't know where you landed in that equation, but for me, there was some real deep conditioning that said I wasn't okay, which meant I had a bigger chance of going to hell. That's some real religious trauma. I really perceive that as a traumatic experience to those of us who suffered that kind of thought conditioning. A Course in Miracles says, an afterlife realm of eternal punishment, which is not real, yet which is the ego's goal for us. Isn't that interesting? To say, to pause and go, the ego's goal is eternal punishment, which isn't real, it isn't of God, but this is the insanity of the ego's construct. It goes on to say, and which the ego tells us awaits us after death because of all of our sins. This threat of hell is the unconscious source of all fear of our future. That's such a powerful statement. And this is why I'm pausing to really look at this. This threat of hell, conscious or unconscious, subconscious, in the subconscious world, it is the source of all fear of creating a future. So the dissolution of this idea and this fear creates for all of us a really powerful opening for power and for life to be expressed. We are shrouded in collective lies. And if you break these lies, the world becomes angry. So I want to go through a few layers of them. First layer is, I cannot be me in this world. I've got to monitor that. I've got to manage that. I've got to make sure that it's acceptable to the room I'm in, to the place I'm living, to the family system, the community system, the government system. I have to somehow, in some way, manage and control myself so that I'm not fully expressed. The layer that lives beneath that is, I'm broken. there must be something wrong with me. There must be something unacceptable. Now, this is getting into the subconscious mind layer. So we don't have these at the conscious level, but they become expressed in our world, in our relationships, in our bodies, in all that we do. Even a faint little vein of there's something wrong with me. And what lives underneath that at the core is what I talk about all the time, a belief that I'm separate from God. But I want to actually go into the center of this belief of separation from God today, because what lives in the center of that is I am guilty. I am guilty. It's a word that we don't spend a lot of time on, but it's an important one to pause and understand. Now, as I'm talking about this, you may discover your mind wandering into a pocket of, well, there's good guilt. There's the good kind of guilty where someone feels remorse or regret for what they've done. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think we have enough spiritual depth to understand that, but I'm going to invite you to acknowledge that, put that over to the side, and stay with me as we begin to explore a different idea of what this is and how it really can cause havoc. But more importantly, where we're going to is how the freedom from it is so profound. So again, the Course says, if guilt is hell, what is the opposite? It's not a difficult question. The hesitation you may feel in answering is not due to the ambiguity of the question, but do you believe that guilt is hell? And that's where we need to pause for a moment, because I'm assuming you haven't thought about it in that way. Not enough, not to just shine the light upon it and go, feeling guilty as an underlying. Remember, in the past talks, I've talked about the guilt grid that lives in the basement of the subconscious mind, the floor of the subconscious basement, the guilt grid. And as we shine the light upon that and place our attention upon it, it's like the ghost, the big ghost that we're afraid of in the room, it will dissolve. It will begin to disappear. But the question today that's going to help us move in that direction is, do you believe that guilty equals a feeling of hell? I could also simplify it very easily for you. Do you believe that feeling separate from your natural state of goodness, your godness, would be hell? There's connection and disconnection. There's heaven and there's this sense of hell, the word I'm using to define this experience of separation. And what lives and what keeps people focused inside of that place is what I'm talking about. That's what we're talking about today. And the core of that is guilt. Course in Miracles says guilt is more than merely not of God. It is the symbol of attack upon God. This is a total meaningless concept except to the ego. But do not underestimate the power of the ego's belief in it. This is the belief from which it stems. If you identify with the ego, you must perceive yourself as guilty. And again, we don't identify with the belief in separation consciously. The ego has a brilliant capacity of projecting it out upon the world so that all of the division and the confusion and the pain and the suffering appears out there. So it's very easy to sit back and go, I don't identify as this. And yet the very next thought or point of view is there's something wrong there. Those people are not okay. That happening is not good. These are the things that I use as my boomerangs, if you will, to boomerang me back into the center of my being and going, okay, I don't consciously conceive fully of what it means to agree that I'm guilty. I can get that. I really can. But what I also can get is that I'm not seeing a world of innocence and oneness. And I'm the perceiver and the creator of this. So that's what I have learned to use as my pointer. And I think we can all agree that in this very divisive time in our world, all of us in one way or another, at some time or another, find ourselves inside of that projection. Today, we back it up and say, what is the cause of this projection? Whatever you accept into your mind is real to you. It's your acceptance of this that makes it real. Whatever you accept into your mind is real to you, which is why when you have a belief about yourself or another, and someone comes up in the room and goes, hey, by the way, that's not even true. Inside of you, it's like, yeah, it is. It really is, because you have accepted it inside of yourself. Again, I'm using words that keep making me want to go to this to explain the subconscious acceptance of this. Because again, I'm not saying you had this conscious moment in third grade where you're sitting in your desk going, I'm going to decide to agree that I'm guilty and that there's something wrong here. This is not a conscious decision. It's a profound, deep, collective agreement in the world that we were born into. We fell asleep to our divinity. We agreed. We believed in that which was being shown us from every point of view. And that is what I mean by when we consciously accept it. We're in energetic agreement in our conditioning. And that is the spiritual work, is to invoke the presence of God and awaken to the awareness of oneness so that all of that conditioning can begin dissolving. And that's where the freedom lies. So stay with me, even if I didn't do the best way of defining this. Let's agree that guilt is our problem. Guilt, which is at the core of believing ourselves separate from our good, from our God. So what is the solution? The solution, and here's the great news, which we love here at Unity, is our holiness. This is where all of the healing lies. This is where immediate alignment becomes available. This is where everything I just described can dissolve in an instant just by focus. Focusing upon our holiness. And your holiness is the deepest truth. All of these layers I've been defining are not at all who we are. At the core of who we are is our holiness. Again, the Course says, in your holiness is the answer to every question that was ever asked, or is being asked now, or will be asked in the future. Your holiness inside of you is the answer to every single question, now, past, future, every direction, every time. Isn't that profound? Isn't that amazing? Now that deserves pause. That deserves pause to just say with me, the holiness within me, inside of that contains all the answers that I need. When we begin to contemplate that, to agree to that, to crack the door open to this idea, that's when that which has always been there, your holiness, can become brighter and bigger and brighter and bigger and brighter and bigger. Until you reach this point where even when the shadow of the fear reveals itself, the place where you are anchored through your spiritual practice, through your recognition of oneness, is so much more powerful. I talk about this a lot, where if you have in the mind, imagine in your brain, every thought creates a groove in the brain. And if you've had 22 million thoughts that you're not good enough, that's a pretty deep groove in the brain, isn't it? That's like a Grand Canyon groove in the brain. And then you have one tiny little thought that enters your mind. I think I'm good enough. Well, that's like a little sliver in the mind. And in comparison, the two, the one has been given so much attention and so much weight that the true statement can feel like the lie. But that is where we continue to place our attention. we just keep, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. And as we, feed the positive thought, and as we allow our attention to continue to go, then we fall back in the room, we get ourselves out. As we do this as a practice, as we pay attention to where the energy of thought is flowing, and we get better and better at steering it, there's a miracle that begins to occur where the belief of your worthiness becomes the Grand Canyon groove in the mind. And somehow the magic of the Holy Spirit, the miracle, I don't know what you call it, but the groove of the lie, that gets filled in. And that becomes just completely covered over to where your holiness is who you are. This exists inside of you as patterns, as agreements. But always when we become conscious and present through our spiritual practice, when we get ourselves back up to the choice point, we can begin directing ourselves towards this. And that is where all of our answers lie. It goes on to say, your holiness means the end of guilt. The acceptance of your holiness means the groove of the lies of whatever lives in there becomes, the days are numbered. It's soon to be over. And therefore, the end of the experience of hell. Your holiness is the salvation of the world and of your own. Your recognition of your holiness is what will rise up within you to lift you out of every false belief, every fear, every agreement that has been made this lifetime, past lifetimes. I don't care how you think about it. Every false idea. It is your holiness that will lift you up and dissolve those. How could you, to whom your holiness belongs, be excluded from God? How would that be possible when you yourself are the very expression of it? I'm saying all these things to get around this is what must be deconstructed and constructed so that the experience of heaven is revealed to you. And it's no longer a geographical location out there somewhere separate from you. And it's no longer just a good idea or something that you say yes to intellectually, but yet your life is not a mirror to it. It becomes an actual experience. It becomes a known, felt something within you that becomes so solid as you move through the world that no matter what's happening in the world, you cannot deny your divinity or your connection to heaven. So to go on further to confirm where heaven is, I look to the Gospel of Thomas, which I think says it the best. It says, Jesus was speaking in the Gospel of Thomas when he says, if your leaders say to you, look, the imperial rule, heaven, is in the sky, then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say to you, it is in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, heaven is inside you and outside you. When you know yourselves, then you will be known. And you will understand that you are children of the living God. But if you do not know yourselves, then you live in poverty. And you are poverty. Oh, right there. That is the key to everything. We must know ourselves. But I'm not talking about doing another personality test to know your skills and your talents and your characteristics, which are great and they serve a purpose. I'm talking about knowing your holiness, knowing whose you are, knowing what you are, knowing from what you come. Knowing this is what establishes you inside of this connection. And where is heaven planted? In the best place of all, in the center of you, for lack of a better way to say it. There's no place other for it. It is everywhere present all the time. But it requires our awareness and our attention upon it to activate it. It's like you can be in a big, gigantic, super dark room with no light and nowhere to turn. And the light switch is right here to switch on all the light in the room. Just because you can't find the light switch, or just because you can't see the light that's possible there, doesn't mean it's not there. It just means you have to discover your access point. In a dark room, it's easy. You find the light switch, and the moment the light goes on, the darkness disappears. Inside of you, it's easy. You agree to your holiness, and you say yes to the consciousness of oneness with God, the kingdom of heaven within you, and the light switch goes on. And we keep following that light. It is said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things are going to be added. One of my favorite Bible quotes, because it's so clear. It's so clear. It tells us exactly where to focus, to establish and find the kingdom of heaven within us. And then it says, from there, from that consciousness, from that upper room experience of oneness, what do you want? All these things will be added. They will be an outpicturing of your consciousness. And the gift that we really, really want is that we are unattached to them. You discover that they come and go, and you can make new ones, and it's just kind of a fun way to be. And it's so easy and light that when something goes, you're not bothered. You're not knocked off center, because you know that you are centered in heaven. And if something goes, you can cause something else. This is the consciousness that is required for prayer to work. This is the consciousness that I'm talking about that deserves focus and practice and attention to. And when the alignment of it is established, speak the word, and it is done. So, to summarize this, there is this thing called heaven and hell. Heaven is real, hell is not real, except when you believe in it. And as we shift our beliefs, it begins to dissolve. And the core of this is the belief in separation and this thing called guilt. All of that dissolves with it. And the consciousness of heaven, the oneness with God, that which is good and true and will never disappear, becomes bigger and brighter and better and bolder and more beautiful in you. And from there, I think the whole universe says, my beloved, what do you want? What do you want to make happen inside of this field of pure potentiality? Inside of all that has been given to you. Now, I do have a, what do you call it? Not a requirement, a bias. I have a very strong opinion that the best way that this works is only if it is good and true and of your heart, and if it expands love. I believe that those are some check boxes that are required. Why? Because if it's not, you aren't in heaven. It's an obvious equation. In order to be in heaven, you have to meet those requirements. And if anything you desire on some level doesn't have that in it, well, what does that do? That bumps you out. So it gets more and more subtle and more interesting. But we can always offer that up. And we can always be expanded and curious. And as we do our prayer practice, we can stay focused and we can get interested in part of the manifestation. What's in the way? What in my consciousness must shift? What is it? And will the thing itself shift? It's such a fun place to play. It's an amazing place to play because you will experience being in the power of God that you are, which is what you want. That's what you came here to do. You came here to be fully expressed and to play and to create. And when you're doing that, you're alive. And that is the most beautiful thing of all. Let's take that into prayer. Take a deep breath with me. Welcome back, Amy and Jesse. Whew. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Much was shared. Much was expressed. That which is here for you, just breathe it in. Accept it. Let the rest go.
I am light. 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 I am light.
In this moment, we align ourselves with the truth just sung. I am light. I am the light of God, the love of God, the power of God, the presence of God. All these words point to that magnificent, miraculous light. And I know that as God is that, I am that. I am that. I am the wholeness of that power. I am the holiness of that divine presence. And as it's true for me, of course, it is true for each of us. We meet in the agreement of our divinity, of the light that we are. And as we meet in this power and in this presence, by the power of my word, I affirm that we are lifted up into the upper room, into the consciousness of heaven, into that experience of oneness where God is and I am merges into a magnificent experience of light. And that light simply says, my beloved, what do you desire? What is of your heart? What is that which is to be created, which is good and true and contributes to the expansion of light and love? And you discover, oh, that's who I am. That's what's within me. You say yes to that. Say yes to that. You don't need to know its name right now. Don't get stuck. It is who we are. And as we just say yes, as we let ourselves be lifted into the consciousness of oneness, the vortex of that spiritual presence and power, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of heaven. As we say yes to this, we allow ourselves to feel the goodness. And I affirm that all of that which is unlike it, that which is created from the insane ego's belief in separation, disappears and dissolves. It deserves no more mind as we rise up and place all of our mind into the light. I am that. I am that. I am that. I am that. Repeat that over and over and over inside of yourself as we allow the music to take us higher.
I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light.
Yes.
I am light. I am light.
That's how much you are. That's all you ever will be.
I am light. I am light.
Let this expand your heart.
I am light.
I am.
I am light.
I am that light.
I am light. I am light.
Take a deep breath. Just feel that. Feel this moment. Feel this moment of expansion. It's gentle. It is this consciousness, this connection. So grateful. I say yes to this. And in gratitude, I know that all prayers are fulfilled. I know that which is yours by right of divine appointment is established, and that the windows and the doorways of consciousness are wide open. Nothing blocking its expression in your life. I'm grateful for the fulfillment of this prayer and the consciousness in which we sit and feel in this moment. So grateful. And in gratitude, I release this prayer into the action of the law. It is done, and so it is. Amen.
Yes. Amen.
Oh, have I told you I love working with you yet?
It's been so long. It's so nice to be in
So
the
good
same
to be back in
room.
here. Yeah.
That's heaven. That's heaven. All right. So now I invite you to take the gifts that you have to offer. This is your opportunity to give to the consciousness of Unity Naples. We're here to do, I believe, a big work in the world, which is simply the expression of God's light, and then as everyone to be a place where people now, because of the gift of the pandemic, it's a global expression. And all those who are aligning with this, it is our intention and our heart's fulfillment to teach and to speak and to present that which helps you discover the divinity within you. So I say all of that to say that is what we all give to. As I invite you to take your gifts now, to bless them and to hold them in your heart, know that you're giving from love to love. It multiplies, and it must and does come back to you. So together we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I am,
All that I received.
and all that I receive. I don't
We
have
got
the
them all in
notes.
there. We got them all in there. They were just
We
out
got
of
him in
order.
there. And now let's pass to Mark Russell so he can tell you how you can give today.
Thank you, Reverend Mark. First, let me just say that it's incredible to stand here in this godliness and this holiness and participate. You're amazing.
Thank you.
We have a few different ways you can give today and always. First, you can give through our website at unitynaples.org/giving. There you'll find a donate button. Quite simple. Click on it, input your information. Great way to give. We also have text to give. It's an option that you can give through your text. Please send the word give to 239-230-4704. That's 239-230-4704. If it's your first time giving this way, you'll receive a link with instructions on how to fill out the additional information. And if you've given this way before, then you can simply text a dollar amount to this number. And third, you can always mail a check to Unity Naples at 2000 Unity Way, Naples, Florida, 34112. And now I'm pleased to go back to Amy and Jesse.
All right, Unity, let's wake up those rainy bones.
Shake off the guilt, embrace heaven within. Dive into the energy of this song with us.
Yes.
I've been asleep, head in the sand, watching the time just ticking. Clock runs around, days in and out, can't really call it living. Somewhere I let light go dark, but here's where my new story starts. Take my life and let it be set on fire for all to see. Break me down, build me up again. Don't leave me the way I've been. Take my heart into your hands. Come and finish what you began. Till I seek your kingdom first. Till I shine, shine like heaven on earth. Like heaven on earth. I wanna wake, I wanna see all of the ways you're moving now. Show me the need, cause I wanna be a part of what you're doing. In my heart, let kingdom come. Not my will, but yours be done. Take my life and let it be set on fire for all to see. Break me down, build me up again. Don't leave me the way I've been. Take my heart into your hands. Come and finish what you began. Till I seek your kingdom first. Till I shine, shine like heaven on earth. like heaven on earth. Help me move when I should move. Help me rest when I should rest. Help me give what I should give. All of me, nothing less. Help me speak with grace and truth. Help me fight for those who care. Help me love the way you love. Never holding nothing back. Take my life and let it be set on fire for all to see. Break me down, build me up again. Don't leave me the way I've been. Take my heart into your hands. Come and finish what you began. Till I seek your kingdom first. Till I shine, shine like heaven on earth. Like heaven on earth. Like heaven on earth. Like heaven on earth.
Nice, thank you. Thank you. One of my huge blessings in life, and I don't know what I did to deserve it, but everywhere I go, I've been surrounded by amazing musicians ever since my ministry has started in Chicago. I really do believe that if you planted me in the desert, musicians would just come around me, and you two are like top of my list. Just so
Thank you.
So grateful that God brought us together. A couple things I want to, first of all, let me bless your offering. Take a moment and just know and appreciate that the gifts that we all give are blessed, and that we remember that God is our source, and that, as I said earlier, everything is answered inside of us. All of our needs are met. And as it's true for us individually, it is true for this collective called Unity Naples. God is its source. God is the light that we serve. And as we serve that, I am certain that we prosper. True for you, true for us, true for all. And so it is. Amen. Amen. So a couple things I want to make mention of before we bring Mark back on. Number one, my new class, Alchemical Prayers, I mentioned earlier, created by me and Panache Desai. It's a 6-week virtual class, begins Thursday nights, October 1st. If you all could put the link in the chat box for people to check that out, would love for you to join me for that class. It's really going to be a wonderful experience. I would love for you to be a part of it. Secondly, this Wednesday, in the spiritual way, I'm doing a series of interviews in September. Last week, we hung out with my dear friend, Bishop Carlton Pearson, and that was just a fantastic experience. This Wednesday, I'm absolutely geeked because we're talking with Gary Renard. Gary Renard is the author of Disappearance of the Universe, and I believe the second book, Your Eternal Immortality, something like that. Anyway, Disappearance of the Universe. Forgive me for that, Gary. Fantastic book, channeled. It's absolutely brilliant, all related to the course. So he's going to be with us on Wednesday night, giving us deep info on more about this thing called heaven, deeper insights about how to access it and how to become it. So please mark your calendar this Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's on Unity Facebook page, Unity YouTube, easy to find, and we'll have more info coming out about that to you in the upcoming week. Mark.
Thank you, Reverend Mark. As Reverend Mark mentioned, we have this Wednesday, please join us for the Spiritual Way. September is the spectacular speaker series where Reverend Mark will get into conversations about prayer with 3 fabulous guests. As Mark mentioned, this Wednesday, September 16th, Reverend Mark will be joined by a Course in Miracles master, I think he said he was geeking out about, Gary Renard, for a conversation entitled, What is Heaven? This series will be live streaming to the Unity Naples Facebook page and YouTube channel, and you won't want to miss it. Please know this, we are here for you. We want to stay connected to you, and we ask for your help in doing this. First, please be sure to like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Unity of Naples. Please go to our page often to receive the latest updates, read about our virtual offerings, watch inspirational videos, and connect with our amazing community. Second, make sure we have your email. In the comments section of this live video, we will post a link that will take you to a page where you can put in your name, email, and contact information. You can also go to our website at unitynaples.org, where you'll find a place to add your email right at the top of our homepage. Please do this today. If you are affected by this current health crisis and need support, or you'd like someone to simply pray with you, please call our office and leave your name and number. We will do our best to call you back within 24 hours. Our office number is 239-775-3009, or you can email us at hello@unitynaples.org. If you have a need for immediate prayer, please call the Silent Unity Prayer Hotline at 1-816-969-2000. That's 1-816-969-2000. And now I think it's Amy and Jesse with our closing song.
Yes. All right, Unity, you know this song, so sing along. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, you know that I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, yeah, yeah. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Now the light that shines is the light of love, lights the darkness from above. It shines on me and it shines on you, and shows what the power of love can do. Gonna shine my light bright and clear, gonna shine my light both far and near. If there's a dark corner in this land, I'm gonna let my little light shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, yeah, yeah. This little light of mine, you know that I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Come on. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for joining us today. Have a fantastic day as together we say the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Peace and blessings.